Hey everybody, this is Freddy with 5280scuba.com. A lot of products out there tout their technology as the best feature or the best product out there. With the SeaDive RayBlocker, we're going to put it to the test. We'll see in just a minute. So in starting with the RayBlocker lenses by SeaDive masks, the cool factor sitting on the shelf, well, they've got the mirrored lens. That's pretty cool. That sets it apart. That's a little different. If you saw somebody diving this mask at a distance, you'd notice that first. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, the masks are fairly unassuming. All black. Not a lot of differences between them other than the shapes of the lenses and what they do for you. So when we discuss the features of the RayBlocker mask by SeaDive, the first and most obvious one really is the lens itself. You can tell by just looking at it that it's different than a regular mask. You can't really see through it from the outside, but you can see through it from the inside. Now it is coated on the outside and the inside, and that is a feature. They do two different things. The first part that is important about this coating is that it is an anti-glare coating and it blocks ultraviolet rays, okay? It's also high definition lens, and I'll explain in just a little bit. That being said, you can only get this mask in black because the clear silicone would allow light behind the lens, and that would not allow this mask to work properly. The blocking of the ultraviolet rays and the high glare rays underwater, it's literally those rays bounce off. This is resistant to those rays. That's very important. It's also a hydrophobic lens. What that means is it's been polished very smoothly. Any imperfections kind of polished out or filled in on the glass itself. I'll talk about the benefit of that in just a little bit. It also has a molded mount for the buckle on the skirt. As you may remember, if you saw our video about how to choose the proper mask for you, that's not good or bad from one mask to the other. It's not better in one than another. It's how the mask was engineered to fit. These masks were engineered to fit where they want the lens to be in a certain position. It works best there. Therefore, when you put this on and the strap is allowed to move and it's flexible right there, it's still going to hold the lens in the same position on your face, okay? So that's kind of a good thing. And then it has a very, very soft silicone, which is excellent for fit, and a nice wide strap. And that's the features of this mask. Okay, now the biggest part of this video is going to be the function, because it's going to take a little bit to explain this different kind of mask and different kind of lens in a sufficient manner. I am going to recommend, though, for the full feature list and the full explanation that you go to the product on our website and actually read about it, and or go to SeaDive's website and get their feedback on it as well. This is a rating, it's not a sales pitch. I'm just going to tell you good, bad, and ugly of the function of the mask. So obviously we're talking the thing that sets this mask apart than most is the lens itself. So how does it dive? What is it, if you put it on your face, what does it look like? First thing you notice is it may seem like it darkens it a little bit, like sunglasses, but it really doesn't. What it's doing is kind of tricking your brain a little by blocking ultraviolet rays and also blocking glare. So it works similar to a sunglass in that fashion. But this lens actually allows almost 100% of the transmission of light waves through it, blocking glare and ultraviolet. So a big question I'm asked about when you wear this mask, what about a night dive? Does it make it darker? It doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's hard to believe by looking at it, I know, but when you try it, it doesn't block it out. It's perfect at night as well, okay? Another feature that you have to have on this mask, if you're that person that just loves the clear silicone, you can't get this technology in a clear silicone mask. And the reason why is there's a coating also on the inside of the mask, and it reflects light and limits light for your eyes, the blue light. And if the clear silicone was there, it would allow light through, so it would be bouncing off the inside back into your eyes, okay? So what you really notice when you're diving is it's a little bit of a sharper image, a little clearer. It has a little bit of what I would say color I don't know the proper word, adjustment, correction. It seems to make images pop. If you were to imagine light waves coming off of a coral, bouncing from the sun, the light waves are going everywhere. This is going to work a little bit by eliminating some of those waves, therefore allowing you a crisper silhouette, a crisper image of it. So it is noticeable by your eyes. Another wonderful thing, just a side effect, is when you've been diving down, underwater, not getting the light right in your eyes, and then you come to the surface and it's kind of bright. This helps block that. It doesn't give you the pain in your eyes, like just coming into a bright light. Okay, that's very nice as well. With the light being able to transfer completely through the lens, it doesn't change coloring. It does enhance it just a little bit, but it doesn't change the coloring. Some people are concerned that might happen, and it doesn't happen as well. So there's 4 different designs actually. I don't have the Sea King right here. It is the one that fits the most of the faces. It's more of the traditional lens that's kind of square on the top and goes down to a point at the bottom. Fits almost all the faces, as do these skirts fit certain people better. This is called the SeaDiver. The SeaDiver fits a little narrower faces, a little smaller faces. We put them on children. We put them on quite a number of women, or people that have a slender face. They fit very well. The lens is closer to the eyes, so you don't see the line in between them. All the nose pockets are sufficient. Then we have the Eagle Eye. The Eagle Eye is a very shallow, low volume mask, and that just means there's less volume of air on the inside. In our video about how to choose the proper mask, we explain how it's possible to have a mask fog more when you do that. But if you clean the lens and you apply your defog, it won't fog. The hydrophobic part of these lenses that I explained is on all of them, and it is a polished glass, imperfections filled in, so it's less likely to adhere to impurities like oils and things like that. So it doesn't get dirty near as easy. And the benefit for you is the dirtiness on a lens is when your defog doesn't work, so it'll fog up more. So if you just keep it clean, then that's fine. That'll work good. Then you have the Monarch lens here. This is a little bit kind of a moderately low volume. It's kind of in between. Not a low volume, but not a high volume either. But it does have a larger lens side to side and top to bottom, so it increases the range of visibility there just a bit. The buckles that I was talking about, the benefit to you really is that it can swivel, and it's also flexible, right? So what that does is it just holds the mask firmly on your face in one position. When you move your strap, it doesn't move the mask, okay? And that works very well. Discussing the quality of this SeaDive RayBlocker masks, the quality is very high. Don't just say that. It's quality silicone, nice and buttery, nice and smooth, good seals, good fitting masks. They've done a good job with the skirt design because they fit so many different faces. It's almost a no-brainer with some of these that they'll fit almost anybody. The molded to the lens look is very nice. It allows some more shapes, some trendy shapes perhaps, but also that enhances vision horizontally and vertically. And the lens itself has a higher rating than the standards even require. So when a company does that, they're trying to do the right thing. They're not just getting by with the bare minimum. So in discussing the durability of these masks, they've only been out for a few years now. So I can only give you our opinion based on our rating. The lens coating itself on their website says it's designed to last a lifetime. I know it's possible to scratch this. Just like any glass lens, you could scratch as well. I haven't found that it's easier to scratch than a regular lens, but I know that you can scratch it. I do know one thing, that if you do scratch it, it's more visible on this lens to you than it would be on a glass lens just underwater. But that being said, we haven't had any returned because of scratched lenses or the peeling of the layers or anything like that. We've never seen any defect whatsoever in that. And the materials that they use, we're very familiar with these masks. We have every one of these designs in a clear design as well. The materials have held up well. So the coating itself, we haven't had a challenge with both inside or out. That being said, I want to make a point that the manufacturer recommends that you do not use a regular mask scrub product. So many of the products designed to clean the lenses of a mask inside and out, they do have like light abrasive inside them, even if you can't feel it. And they don't recommend using that. I know people that do anyway, and they haven't noticed any difference whatsoever. The coating's not wearing off. But the manufacturer doesn't recommend using those. They recommend a soft soap of some kind, or perhaps like a dishwashing liquid, that sort of thing. Okay. So the durability, perhaps not long enough of a test to see if this is a 20 to 25 year mask, but knowing the SeaDive products in the past and how long they've lasted, I have some rental masks in our rental department that are SeaDives that are probably 15 years old and used by students, dropped on the concrete. They don't look so beautiful anymore, but they're holding together well and they still work good. So in discussing the value of these masks, really it's about the difference between the lenses. The mask that you can buy with clear lenses, the exact same mask, is $30 less than when you have this lens. Do I think the value of that lens is worth $30 more than a regular mask? I do. $30 isn't that much money. The mask will perhaps last you 20 to 25 years. I don't know that yet, but quite a long time. So therefore, you're going to be gaining the benefit of the lens. And that's really what it comes down to with this mask. If you choose this mask, you're doing it because of what the lens gives you. A better enhanced vision, a little more clarity, some color correction or adjustment, less sensitivity to the eyes. And that is worth, in my opinion, $30 more for the mask. Okay.
Okay, so the pros and the cons. The pros are this enhances your experience underwater. It gives you much better vision, clarity, focus, what you're looking at. For that reason, that's a pro. The mask itself is a very durable brand, a known brand, very durable materials, so that's a pro. The negatives are if you do get a scratch in this lens, it's more noticeable underwater while you're diving, and it is limited to the 4 styles available. An entire mask line, you can't just get this lens in any mask. Maybe in the future you will be able to, but right now you have to choose one of the 4 that are available. So that's a little bit of a negative. And another negative in my opinion is if you are the diver that wears a prescription, you can't put a prescription lens in these masks. They don't have the coating, they don't have the ability to grind the lens to make it that way. So maybe they'll work on that. They don't have it yet. No, it's not in the works at present time. So my summary of these masks are that it's a well-performing mask. It's got a great history to it prior to the coating. Coating being about 3 years with no problems so far, so that's good. It is unique, so for the snorkeler, for the diver, taking advantage of the lens, it's a little bit more of an enjoyable experience. So now, in rating this mask, I think the cool factor, the lens is the coolest part of this mask. The designs themselves, pretty unassuming, all black silicone, kind of what they're meant to be. We're going to give it a 7.5. With the features, it's got all the features of the similar masks without the lens adds to that. It is something unique to them. You don't find this in the other manufacturers. So we're going to also give that a 7.5, right? A little between respectable and a good choice. As far as the function of it, as far as what it really does for you, it's not a hype, it's not a gimmick. They tell you what it's going to do, and it actually does that. You can notice the difference when you put it underwater. Matter of fact, it's more apparent underwater than it is on the surface. So in the showroom, if you put this on, you're going to say, okay, yeah, I see it. When you use it underwater, you're going to even see it more because light waves transfer much slower underwater, and it makes a greater difference in the clarity and the edges. So as far as the Function, we're going to give it an 8. And then the quality, good materials. So far we haven't had a challenge with the coating, and we're going to give it an 8.5. Durability, part of this is an assumption because we started with an already very good mask and no challenges yet. I can't ding them on the quality for the lens because 3 years, no challenges. We're going to give it a 9. The value, it does add value to a mask, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive than the average mask, but you're not going to be able to find anything else to compare it to at this point. So we're going to give that a 7.5. As far as the overall BA rating, we're going to give it an 8, and that's a good choice.
So if you've dove these, we would love to hear your comments. There just aren't a lot of feedback back yet on these, yet they sell well. I think people put them on in the showroom and they just like them and they dive them. So if you will give us your comments, that will help us in a big way. And perhaps in our future ratings, we'll be able to take all those into context. Okay? Done. That was no good. Okay, so. Okay, as far as our ratings, we've used the product, we like the product. I've given you our ratings. I would love to hear what you have to say about this mask because there's just not a lot of ratings and feedback out there yet. If you would be so kind as to leave your comments about this mask if you've used it, we would include that in our future ratings and we'd love to hear it, okay? And if you have any other product that you would like us to rate and tell the good, bad, or the ugly about it, we'd love to do it. Just leave that also in the comments. Thank you.